All right, guys, so we're here with ThunderGryph Games, and I'm talking with Jason here about the awesome-looking and piratical Dead Man's Doubloons. So, Jason, give us a little bit of a walkthrough of kind of what the background of the game is, and then we'll dive in and get some gameplay going, I think.
Excellent. So, yes, everyone is taking the role of a legendary pirate captain. You have a pirate ship that is kind of surrounding this mysterious island, and they're going to be skirmishing and boarding each other and pillaging and stealing and all that kinds of stuff. And then, of course, there are the pirate captains themselves. The captains are going to advance on the island. They're going to wind through all these paths through the forest and try to find their way up to the base of Mount Zotetman, where the buried treasure is, of course. The legendary treasure that we're all trying to uncover. Jewels and gems and things like that. So the game kind of takes place in two different dimensions simultaneously. You got waging war in the water, and then you've got the maze through the paths to get to the buried treasure. So that's the premise of the game, and it's a very simple action selection or action programming game for 2 to 6 players. It plays very fast, and well, we're going to show you how to play it.
Let's get stuck into it, yeah.
Right, excellent.
Yeah.
So we kind of have a game set up here for 2 players, very minimalistic. Our captains are on the beach. We start with some doubloons that are on the beach, and those are available for pillaging using the pillage system. We have our ships here. We started them in this quadrant. Ships all navigate the board in these quadrants, so they're going to kind of rotate around the board clockwise or counterclockwise based on where they're facing. So that's how that works. And then again, the captains are going to start right there on the beach. We have our player mats. Everyone begins with 2 doubloons and a couple map fragments, because part of the game, at least in the beginning of the game, is you have to work to acquire map fragments. So we're actually starting a little bit further into the game where we already have 2 each, except one player typically will only have 1 map fragment, and so that builds in a kind of a core sense of thievery right from the beginning. Like, you have to steal other players' map fragments in order to advance your captain and find the way to the mountain. So that's great. So we have crew. Everyone has 4 crew to begin with. As we advance on some of the cursed passage way to the mountain, we're going to lose some crew. People are going to attack us and kill our crew, all those types of things. So let's begin. I've dealt everyone a hand of 5 cards. So we have 5 action cards here. And what you're basically going to do is choose 3 of these action cards to put face down in front of you, and in the order that you want to execute them. And the action cards, just really quick for the viewer's purpose, the action cards are all very simple. At the top is some simple iconography to denote where does your ship move. So this black arrow pointing to the right there, the ship must move forward to the next quadrant. Here we have the ship can move forward, and the ship also can turn around. That's the arrow, turn around 180 degrees. Now, when it's a solid arrow, that's forced. When it's a dotted arrow, that is optional. You can choose. So, and then there's different icons for the actions. After you do the navigation, you choose one of the 2 actions on the card. And it's things like advancing your captain, shooting, boarding, stealing things, all different things like that. So let's get into it. So choose 3 actions, face down in front of you, and you're the first player, so you're going to go before me. And you're going to put it face down, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do that, and then I want to do that to you. I mean, do that.
Okay, I'm going to go, well, this one seems violent, so I'm going to go with that one.
Very good.
And then let's go with that one. And let's go with that one. Let's go with that.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so it goes. Yeah.
Very good. So those are in your hand, right? Okay. So simultaneously, we all flip our first card, and the player with the Inish token goes first. So you are the first player. Now you have to move forward and turn. You can do it in any order you want. So your ship is the yellow ship here, Hey Redden. You can move forward and then turn, or you can turn and then move forward. Your choice.
Oh, okay.
Now, because you have a shoot forward action, you could move forward and turn, face me, and then shoot me. That may be the best case in this particular case.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. So we're going to go this way, and then we turn that way, yeah?
To show towards me.
Turn towards you to show that I'm shooting that way, yeah?
And then you shoot. You hit me for 1 damage, and you roll the attack die. This little icon here says that you roll the attack die. So go ahead and roll.
Come on. Dice are always usually with me, and I'm usually lucky, but we shall see.
And that is steal a doubloon from me. So you would take a doubloon, put it on your tuck. So we all start the game with 2 doubloons.
Perfect. A nice little bit of thievery straight away.
That was your action. Now, you couldn't do the bottom one here. It's a boarding action that has a prerequisite. You couldn't do that because you didn't have the prereq for this round, but you did this other great thing. For me, I have choices where to move. I have a hunt action, which is what I want to do because I have my 2 maps. So I'm going to stay kind of close to you though. So I'm going to move forward. I can optionally do that. Now I could board you and steal your map fragment, but I already have 2. I'm not going to waste time doing that. I'm going to start hunting with my pirate. So Pollyanna, fan favorite. This was a parrot on the captain's shoulder until a series of meteor dust fell to Earth and destroyed the crew. Essentially, the parrot grew into this like giant parrot, killed the captain, and took over the ship. So Pollyanna is now the captain of this ship.
I already like this parrot already.
Now I can choose where I want to go. Right, I have the red path, which is the fastest path to the mountain, but it's the cursed passage, so it's going to be dangerous. I could go on the yellow path of riches. But it is the longest path, but I can get more doubloons and gems. Or I can say it's safe and go on the blue coastal path. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go on the cursed passage here. Pollyanna moves here. Pollyanna's special ability is when I draw these landmark tiles, red. When I draw these landmark tiles, I can draw 2 and choose 1 to do. So I can either give you a crew, that's what this one does, or I can kill 2 of my own crew. I'll choose give you a crew because you don't need any extra crew anyway, so I only lose 1. That's how you play the game, right? So I remove a crew.
He just got to go home because he was just so happy with his lot, so.
Absolutely. And that is me hunting. And now when I did that, I had to choose one of my 2 map fragments that I wanted to follow. I'm going to choose the hand. The reason is, if you had the symbol that I chose, you would get a free move. So the other captains are like, oh, he must be onto something. Let's follow him, or her in this case, with Pollyanna. So I'm not going to choose the swirl, which you have, because I don't want to give you a free move. All right, that's me. Second card, flip. There you go for you. What do you do to me now? So first, you have to turn around your ship. Go ahead and flip around.
So turn around my ship. There we go.
Whoop. Now you have choice of either attacking forward into the next area. No, there's no one there. So in this case here, you got a treasure chest. Treasure chest says you can pillage. So you take a pillage token, you put it down in front of you, and then at the end of the round, we see who has the most of those, and they're going to get some doubloons from the island. We're pillaging from the little villages and stuff that are on the island.
Those poor villagers.
Always. And so that's your turn. My second turn, I could repair my ship. If I'm alone in the area, I repair for 2, otherwise it's just 1. Or I can attack forward. So like you, there's nothing to attack forward. So I'm just going to repair. I'm going to get 1 repair.
So that damage I did to your ship has been taken away there? So.
A little bit. But you'll see that more and more damage happens. It's inevitable. And we flip our third card. You can move forward if you wish. You can repair. You can also broadside. So if you do not move forward, look what you can do to me. You can broadsides, and that's a double damage, and you roll the attack die. I take 2 damage, and whatever else you happen to do on the attack die. Sounds like that's probably your...
I think I'm going to be violent. I think I'm going to go for the broadside. So I fire and do the 2 damage, and then I roll the dice as well.
And that is a voodoo symbol. That symbol only matters when you're a ghost ship, which we'll probably end up fast forwarding and we'll show you the ghost ship. But right now you're a normal ship, so that doesn't do anything. Now there are some of these water areas you'll see here. There are different effects in each of these 4 quadrants. If you happen to be where this one is, you would actually be able to re-roll that die. That's one of the effects of the different water areas. But that's not where you were, so too bad. Okay. So that was your broadsides. I took 2 damage. And then my last action, I have to move forward. I have no choice. I am Pollyanna. And then I can now pillage +1. So I could actually get 2 pillage tokens and have more than you. So I'll get those 2 doubloons on the island. Or I can hunt again and move my captain further on the passage, which of course is one of the main points of the game. So I'm going to do that for now. I'm going to move myself forward. And I draw my 2 red tiles because I'm still on the cursed passage. And this time I have to either return 2 doubloons to the island, or I can find a bone lever and basically give you and all other players in the game a pillage token. So I'll do that this time so you see some pillaging. So give me the bone lever.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
No, that's good. So that goes there. The reason these stay on the board is because if you decide to go down this path, the exact same effects will happen.
That was one thing I was going to ask. So it sort of plots out a little bit of a path so you can see how dangerous it actually is going to become when you're playing the game. Okay.
Exactly. So all players except me get to draw a pillage token. That's
Yar.
turn. So now, end of round, what we do is we look to see who has the most pillage tokens. You have 2, I have none. So you get that number from the island. You get 2. In fact, If only one player has pillage tokens, like in this case, you'd get double the number from the island. But this early in the game, there's only 2, so you get the 2.
And do these? I was going to say, do these the pillage tokens stay, or do they go back and then they're refreshed each time?
For the next round, we take all this, we discard, we basically reshuffle. We still have leftover cards from the first round, so we draw up to our hand size of 5. Now that hand size of 5 will change as well, because throughout the game, we're going to, actually, I'm sorry, I lost a crew, right? So I'm already down to a hand size of 4. That's what this says on the board. And as I lose more crew, different things happen. I'll lose my special ability of drawing 2 tiles. I won't be able to turn after a certain number of crew, and so on. Okay, so we would start it over at this point. We'd move on to the next round, but let's make it a little more interesting.
I want to get to the ghost ships. Ghost ships are awesome.
So let's say you've been attacking me a lot already. So let's say, why don't you take 2 damage? Let's say I did something to you, but you've actually annihilated me. You attacked me enough, you've reduced my crew, or my hull down to 0. So as soon as that happens, I take my ship off the board, and one of the coolest aspects of the game is we have 2 versions of every ship. We have the original live version, and we have a translucent ghost version. So the ghost ship of my ship goes on the board, and I continue to play the game. I can still win the game. I actually have a new power because I'm a ghost ship. This symbol that you saw before on the die, if I ever roll that, I do an extra damage. So it's a voodoo effect. However, all of my treasure is cursed. When I'm a ghost ship, the treasure's cursed, and it's all worth way less at the end of the game.
As good piratical treasure is, it's always cursed.
Oh, just wait, you're going to love this too. So doubloons for me would be worthless. They'd be worth 0 instead of 1 at the end of the game. Crew are fine. Jewels, all the jewels will be worth 1 less if I get jewels. And jewels, of course, are what you're digging up here at the mountain. But I can redeem myself. And in the right, proper way for a pirate to redeem themselves when they're a ghost ship, what I have to do is I have to find and acquire 5 doubloons and return them to the island. So at the end of a round, if I have 5 doubloons, I put 5 doubloons back on the island, and my ship is returned back to normal. I go back up to 7 hull, and I actually resurrect 2 crew in the process. So this thing ebbs and flows back and forth. Now, there was a cost, right? I lost 5 doubloons from that, but in the meantime, I had the extra effect. Another neat thing is when you're a ghost ship, you actually can't turn your ship around. You kind of haunt the horizon. You just keep listing along the horizon. So that's another aspect there. So why don't we say that I advanced a little bit somewhere, or you advanced a little ways, and I made it all the way to the mountain, right? So I'm still a ghost ship, but let's just say that we're basically at the end of the phase 1 of the game. It's about two-thirds the way through the game, and whoever has made it, so let's say you made it that far, whoever made it to the mountain draws 3 jewels. So let's go ahead and draw me 3 jewels there. Now, emeralds are worth 3 points at the end of the game, rubies are 4, and diamonds are in there as well. Diamonds are 5. Whoever made it to the mountain gets 3 draws. Now, whoever is 1 space behind gets 2. So you get 2. Let's go ahead and do that. So you have a ruby and an emerald as well.
Perfect. The perfect kind of pirate treasure.
Absolutely. And at the end of the game, by the way, those jewels are worth that amount, doubloons are worth 1, and map fragments are actually worth 2 apiece as well. Even your crew are worth 1 apiece. So there's a little end of game scoring here. This section is the standard game, the top section here. And then there's 3 optional modules that are available later on when you look at the game box. There's a bunch of different optional ways to play that have extra points. Great. So we dug up our treasure. What happens now, and we don't have the cards here today, but what would happen is our captains come back to the ship. They actually go onto this track that's on the ship mat all the way on the left, and we add in more powerful cards to the deck. So we shuffle everything back in. We have captain cards now, because the captains have returned to the ship. They have much more powerful attacks. They can steal jewels now from other players. They can steal reputation, because what happened, by the way, when you sunk me earlier, you gained some reputation. That's worth points at the end of the game. In fact, if you sink 3 ships, that's worth 12 points at the end of the game. So you can get a lot of points that way. And you can even steal a ship's reputation by kind of like taking it over, essentially, or tainting their name, however you want to classify it. So there's a lot going on, but it plays very fast, and it's very easy, and that's the general gist of Dead Man's Doubloons.
Well, there you go, guys. Dead Man's Doubloons sounds awesome. A lot of backstabbing, a lot of treasure, a lot of ghost ships.
Everything. Steal everything in the game.
A lot of ghost ships. Why would you not want to have ghost ships? And again, these models look absolutely amazing, as you can see here. All the little meeples as well are looking fantastic. The art style for this game is absolutely brilliant. Jason, man, this sounds so much fun. I can't wait to play a little bit more of this. Get really stuck into the rules.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks again, guys. Man, Dead Man's Doubloons, looking amazing. Hopefully you guys like yourself some pirates, and we'll see you again soon.